Hi everybody, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. This time I continue with the Agora Models Terminator T-800. I am on pack number 3, stage 21. Let's get started.
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Uzi 9mm. I'll be back.
Welcome back. Let's look at the magazine for pack 3 of the Terminator T-800. Now remember, when you receive each pack, you'll receive 10 stages per pack. So we're going to concentrate on pack 21 in this video. However, I'd like to go ahead and show you the magazine. I'm going to skip over the other stages. We'll look at stage 21 and then we'll look at the rest of the magazine. So, if you haven't done so already, head over to Agora Models and subscribe to this kit today. It's fantastic, half scale, it's huge. It's going to have a fantastic base, it's lighted, lots of moving parts. So right here you can see we start off right away with the table of contents, and it lists all the stages, stage 21 through stage 30. Okay, so like I said, we're going to look at stage 21 first. Here's all the parts that are included with stage 21. And we'll look at the assembly instructions here. Remember, with this you'll need some super glue, perhaps some tweezers, and something to apply the super glue with. I would recommend some super glue accelerator also. And remember, you do get this magazine with this, so that makes it very nice too. They do give you some expert tips. There's a note here about making sure that the cables are all accessible from the back of the head. So we'll make sure we do that when we actually build this. So moving on. Article here about AI, artificial intelligence, blending Kubrick's grim future vision with Spielberg's humanist sentiments. This bittersweet fable from two of cinema's leading filmmakers offers unprecedented exploration of love, life, and the human condition. So it's an article about AI. Pretty cool there. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. Came out in 2001, director Steven Spielberg, obviously. So we have about 4 pages of that. Then the next article is Alien. A young woman with a cat becomes the ultimate survivor of haunted house in space in Alien. So there's a couple pages of that. Remember, that movie came out back in 1979. And I remember going to the movie theater on base to watch this. And lastly, we have an article about the real-world science of the T-800. So the Turing test, can machines think? Well, it looks like that's coming true here, you know. So this is a good article there. I won't give away any of the specifics with it. So with that, let me go ahead and grab the parts out, and we'll look at stage 21. I'll be right back. Here's the parts contained within the blister pack. And in most of the parts that I've seen so far with this kit, everything comes in blister pack, which gives it nice protection. So there you have it there. But it's a good idea when you take these all out to go ahead and inventory these parts as compared to what should be found within the magazine. So let me take these out and we'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of the parts. We received a right shoulder joint, and this is made out of metal. Very nice finish on that. We also received right shoulder joint fittings. These are made out of plastic. 2 of them there. Lower jaw joint cover. That's these little covers there. They're on a little sprue tree. We received 2 large shafts and 2 smaller shafts. Now the larger shaft is called 21-3. That's the larger one right there. And the smaller shafts are called 21-4. Those are metal. And lastly, we received 3 PM 2 by 4 millimeter screws. Okay, so these are 3 of them inside of there, and they're the PM screws, 2 by 4 millimeter screws. They do give us 1 spare, so always save your spares in case you need it later on. So let's get started. Before we get started, here's some recommended tools we can use to build this kit. Obviously, you're going to need a good screwdriver. I recommend the Wera PHO screwdriver for that. It's magnetized and works great on the screws. I also recommend the glue looper, and this will help you apply your super glue to specific points. You can kind of see how that is. And I do recommend a really good pair of sprue cutters. These are the Tamiya ones. And you know, if you're going to invest this much money into these model kits, you should get really good tools for this, not the old cheapo tools. A good quality tool will help make your build even much more enjoyable and a lot easier. And besides that, you'll have nice quality tools for future builds. I recommend a little solo cup thing here to put your super glue onto, and then this Gorilla Glue is really nice here, the super glue. I recommend that. And lastly, to accelerate the super glue, use some super glue accelerator, and we call that kicker, so I recommend that also. And remember, you can find all those tools on my Amazon store. I put a link in the description below. So I'll go ahead and pour some super glue out here in the tray. Just a little bit. And they tell us they want us to dry fit these. So you have one of these gear assemblies that goes on one side, and just kind of test fit it, make sure it fits in good. You also have another one for the other side, so we actually got to super glue both of these on. And apply the super glue to the circles. It just makes it a lot easier. So it's good to get restarted on this. It was fun building pack 1 and pack 2. This pack 3 looks super exciting to do. And we'll just slide that down in there. Turn it over. We'll do the same thing on the other side. This kit uses a lot of super glue, so make sure you have a good supply. And it fits down in there just like that. Now we can go ahead and take a little bit of kicker, the accelerator, and spray it in there. Capillary action puts it in behind it, and just a second or two, the super glue is nice and dry. Take a paper towel, wipe off the excess, and there you have it. It looks good on both sides. The next step that they want us to do is they want us to cut these 2 covers off and get those ready for installation. They show using an X-Acto knife. I'd rather use my sprue cutters here, these really good Tamiya ones. And there we go. So those are both off. Right, so these covers are for the jaw, and they go on both sides here. And we once again we have to super glue these parts, and they just want us to apply the glue. Okay, so they want us to put some glue on these tabs here. And we'll put it down in there. There's one. Turn it around to the other side. And it might be just as easy to put the glue on the inside. Right there. And right there. And there we go. That is in there. Take a little bit of accelerator. Doesn't take much. Same with the other side. And it should dry within seconds. Wipe off excess. And we're done with that. Alright, so we've completed all the way up to step 7. Now we're on step 8. Step 8, we take the top of the head here, and we're going to insert those the larger metal shafts on the top here. Now they tell us to go ahead and test fit them first, make sure they go in fine, and mine do. I've already done that. They both fit in just fine. So pull that out. I'm going to put some super glue in there to hold them in place. We've got to put both in. Put some glue around the sides. And we'll do both sides. Take the metal shaft. Having tweezers really helps. Slide that one in, and slide the other one in. They say if it doesn't want to go in very well, you can use a file and file them down. I'm just going to put a little kicker on them. That is good. And those are secure. So the next step is they want us to put the smaller shafts in on the bottom here, and we just want to make sure that they test fit just fine. And let's see here, just like that. That one does. And that one does. Okay. So once again, I'll put some super glue in those holes around the outer edge. And we'll slide those shafts in. Just like that. That's how they should look. Put a little accelerator on them, and that should be good. Okay, so the last step is they want us to put the top of the head on the bottom of the head. Okay, so we have that all there. Now if you'll notice where we put those shafts in, there's some mounting points down here. There's some holes here on the bottom for those screws, those 2x4 PM screws that we have. Okay, so we'll simply slide the head down, just like a puzzle, on both sides. Looks good. And then this is where we're going to install those smaller screws on the back side here. Those little fixing screws. And got one right there. Try to make it so you guys can see what I'm doing here on the other side. Make sure their sides tighten down. And there we go. Making sure all our wiring is on the back side, which it is. And that's what that looks like right there. And that's all we do for stage 21. That was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this greatly. Head over to Agora Models and just subscribe to this kit today. You won't regret it. It's huge, as you can tell. It's pretty large. You can see how big the head is here. We're making great progress with it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell for all notifications and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. All the subscribers, the better. When you subscribe to my channel, that also helps YouTube to decide, hey, this guy likes this type of content. I'll hook him up with some content that's very similar to this channel. So subscribing to me will help you out, believe me. With that, happy modeling everybody, and take care.